Now I want to tell you guys a story. It happened a while back. It's about how an old lady held a grudge on me for over a year. Now normally, when I go on the bus and an old lady speaks to me, she would be very nice and kind, but oh no. Ooh. This was not one of those times. I just got out of school, I was around about 15 years old, and I sat down in the priority seating. Which, if you don't know, it's when the seats are full in that area, and someone that is disabled or is very old just has a mental issue. Somebody has to move to make space for that new person on the bus. And so I sat in the priority seating, and next to this old and overweight woman comes onto the bus and sits in front of me. She then faces me and says,
You know, you can't sit there. Only the elderly and the disabled are allowed to sit here.
and I gave this woman the classical one eyebrow raise, and I responded with like, "This isn't. It's like that isn't true. These seats are priority seats." And so I told her what they're actually for, and she looked shocked, like I just offended her or said something racist. She then gave a giant huff of air and just faced the other direction. A year passes, and again, after I climb onto my normal bus, I think that I'm going to have a normal day. No. Again, the same lady walks onto the bus, and again, I'm in the priority seating. But this time, she got some backup. Her husband. Now, when I saw her, I already thought, oh no, she's going to give me shit for sitting in the priority seats. The strangest thing happens. Her husband looks over to me, stares me down for a little bit, then looks back at his wife and says,
Is that him?
I don't know why I gave him a stupid fucking deep voice. Anyways, and all I see is her nodding with the expression of a grumpy 6-year-old. At this point, I'm eternally laughing, not because of what the husband said, but actually because of this old lady holding a grudge on a 16-year-old teen. Now that alone is just sad. But now, do you think that would be the end of it? No. Else this video would become a little bit shorter. Anyways, about 2 weeks later, the same thing happens again. This time the old lady sits next to me and her husband opposite me. In my head, I just keep saying, why me? And here's where it gets weird. You know those frame-like stand things that has the wheel that old people use to help them walk? I can't remember what they're called, but anyways, she had one of them with her, and for some reason she thought it was a good idea to hit my leg with it. Yeah, an old lady was hitting me with like a little stroller thing on my leg, because she still had a flippin' grudge on me. After a year, longer than a year. Now, days I don't see her anymore, nowadays. Knowing her though, I think she would have a heart attack or something if she saw me again. But, you know, these days I only see her husband go on the bus, and he still occasionally gives me a strange look. But not much else. Anyways, there's not much else to this story except how an old lady was hitting my just my leg. But anyways, if you guys like this, do give some feedback so I can know that I'm doing something right at least. And if not, well, I'm still gonna make, cause it's fun to make and edit. So I'll be off. And obviously, if you want to watch more, you should sub in the next vid. But you know what? Cheers.